A racist cop arrests a black man, not knowing he's his new boss. Watch Ethan's shocking mistake unravel and Captain Carter's bold fight for justice. Will the precinct change? Find out on Story Hub. A biased officer detained the police captain. He didn't know it was him until it was too late. Ethan Hayes glanced at his partner, Officer Ryan Walsh, who was skimming a newspaper in the front seat. "Heard about the new captain?" Ryan asked, eyes still on the paper. Ethan shook his head. "Nah, just hope he's not some desk jockey." Ryan chuckled. "Same here, man." The radio buzzed, interrupting their chat with a burst of static. "All units, 1031 in progress at Southwest 4th Avenue and Morrison Street," the dispatcher reported. "Suspect, black male, late 30s, dark hoodie." Ethan's senses sharpened. "That's nearby. Let's roll," he said. He hit the siren, and the patrol car sped off, cutting through Portland's busy traffic. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline as they raced to the scene. The city whipped by in a blur of noise and light. They reached the location in minutes, pulling up outside a 7-Eleven on Southwest Morrison Street. Ethan jumped out, eyes sweeping the area. He spotted a black man stepping out of the store, wearing a hoodie that fit the description. The man stopped, noticing Ethan and Ryan, his face showing surprise. "That's our guy," Ethan whispered, nodding to Ryan. "Let's go." The man began walking quickly down the sidewalk, hands in his pockets. Ethan shouted, his tone sharp. "Hey, sir, hold up right there." The man turned, composed but cautious. "What's the problem, officers?" the man asked. Ethan stepped closer, hand on his holster. "Got a call about a robbery. Show me some ID," he said. The man raised an eyebrow. "Robbery? I didn't do anything," he said. "ID now," Ethan pressed, duty weighing heavily on him. The man sighed, pulling a wallet from his pocket. "I'm Marcus Carter," he said, handing over his license. Ethan gave the ID a quick glance, barely registering it. "What were you doing in that store?" he asked. "Grabbing a soda," Marcus answered calmly. "That a crime?" Ethan brushed off the remark, focused on the arrest. "Turn around. Hands on the wall," he ordered. Marcus obeyed, his expression steady as Ethan cuffed him. Ryan watched, standing back with a neutral look. As they led Marcus to the patrol car, Ethan felt a nagging doubt. He ignored it, certain he was in the right. They drove to Portland Central Precinct in silence. The city rolled past the windows. Marcus sat calmly in the back, unfazed by the situation. Ethan mentally justified his actions. He was just doing his job, he told himself. The precinct was alive with activity as they pulled into the lot. Ethan and Ryan escorted Marcus inside. Officers turned, eyeing the newcomer with curiosity. The air buzzed with unspoken questions, tension thick. "Take him to processing," Ethan told Ryan. Ryan nodded, moving to follow orders. At the processing desk, Marcus spoke up. His voice carried a commanding tone that hushed the room. "Time to clear this up," he said. Ethan frowned, puzzled. "Clear what up?" he asked. Marcus gave a slight smile. "I'm Marcus Carter, your new captain," he declared. Silence fell. The words hit like a thunderbolt. Ethan's face paled as he absorbed the news. His mind scrambled, trying to match the cuffed man with his new boss. "Captain Carter?" he stuttered, shock mixed with dread. Marcus nodded, his gaze steady on Ethan's. "That's right. And we've got a lot to talk about regarding this department's policing," he said. Ethan felt the weight of his error crush him, leaving him mute. Whispers rippled through the precinct. The truth began to settle in. What should have been a simple arrest became a pivotal moment. It wasn't just for Ethan, but for the whole department. Change was stirring. The path forward wouldn't be easy. The precinct crackled with nervous energy as news of the captain's arrest spread. Officers swapped looks. Murmured talks hummed like static. Ethan stood rooted, his thoughts spinning from the bombshell. Captain Marcus Carter, a name now heavy with meaning, was the man he'd wrongly detained. The mistake gnawed at him. He fumbled for words. "Captain Carter, Ethan started, his voice breaking. Marcus raised a hand, stopping him with a firm yet kind look. "Let's discuss this in my office, Officer Hayes," Marcus said. As Marcus walked ahead, officers stepped aside. Their faces showed shock and intrigue. Ethan trailed, feeling every stare. His mind churned with regret. His actions pressed down on him. Marcus's office was simple, with personal touches. A family photo sat on the desk. A commendation plaque adorned the wall. A small plant stood by the window. The quiet room contrasted the precinct's chaos. "Take a seat," Marcus said, pointing to a chair. Ethan sat, nerves on edge. "Captain, I had no idea," he said. Marcus raised a hand again. "I know you didn't, and that's the issue, Officer Hayes," he replied. Ethan swallowed, Marcus's words hitting hard. "I was just following the call. The description," Ethan said. Marcus leaned in, eyes unwavering. "A vague description, yet you jumped to conclusions. That's what we need to fix," he said. "It's not only about orders. It's about questioning assumptions and improving." Ethan nodded, guilt flooding him. "I get it, Captain. I should have asked more, listened. I acted too fast," he said. "Recognizing that is the first step," Marcus said, his voice gentler. "We're all learning, me included. This department has issues we must face together," Marcus added. A knock interrupted them. Sergeant Emily Torres peeked in, her face serious but warm. "Captain, the officers are ready for your introduction meeting," she said. Marcus stood, gesturing for Ethan to join. "Come on," he said. The briefing room was packed, all eyes locked on Marcus as he entered. The air was heavy with expectation. Ethan sat in the back, feeling watched. Marcus stepped to the podium. "Good afternoon, everyone," he began, his voice steady. "I'm Captain Marcus Carter, and I want to address today's incident," he said. The room stayed quiet. Tension crackled. Marcus spoke firmly. "Today exposed a problem in our department, not just protocol, but how we see things," he said. "We need a higher standard, one that looks past assumptions and demands accountability." Ethan listened closely. Each word struck a chord. He felt both relieved and driven. Marcus's leadership was a challenge to act. "I'm not here to blame anyone," Marcus said, scanning the officers. "I'm here to collaborate with you all to build a culture of openness and respect," Marcus continued. "It won't happen fast, but it will happen." His words were clear and strong. Officers' faces showed quiet thought. Ethan felt a spark of hope. Change seemed possible. He could help make it real. The meeting ended, and officers began to leave. Their talks mixed caution with curiosity. Ethan stayed back, processing the day. "Ethan," a voice called. He turned to see Emily, her face kind, but direct. "Hey, Emily," Ethan said, forcing a small smile. "You holding up?" she asked, concern clear. Ethan sighed, rubbing his hair. "Yeah, just sorting it out." "I screwed up big time," he said. Emily nodded, touching his shoulder. "Everyone messes up. It's about what you do next," she said. "Marcus is right. This is our shot to improve," Emily added. Ethan nodded, thankful for her words. "I know. I'm ready to grow, to change," he said. "Good," Emily said, squeezing his shoulder. "We need everyone in this." As Emily left, Ethan exhaled deeply. He felt a fresh sense of purpose. The journey ahead was tough, but he was ready to face his biases and build a better future for himself and the department. The weeks after Captain Marcus Carter's arrival were uneasy. Skepticism lingered in the precinct. Some officers embraced the idea of reform, but others resisted. They saw Marcus as a threat to the way things were. Officer Ethan Hayes was stuck in the middle. He wrestled with his own prejudices. He navigated the precinct's changing vibe. Ethan sat at his desk, staring at paperwork. His thoughts were elsewhere. He kept replaying the arrest. Marcus's calm stood out against his own haste. It humbled him. It made him face his snap judgments. Chairs scraped as officers gathered for another meeting. Marcus stood up front, drawing attention effortlessly. The room held a mix of nerves and doubt. "Thanks for being here," Marcus said, his voice even. "We're talking about new changes today," he said. "These are to build trust with the community and within our team." Ethan shifted, feeling the words weight. Trust was something he'd overlooked, both as a cop and a person. Marcus outlined new rules. They aimed for openness and responsibility. He mentioned workshops and seminars. They focused on bias and community ties. He stressed understanding Portland's diverse people. "We have to listen and learn," Marcus said, looking around. "Our job isn't just enforcing laws, it's serving everyone fairly," he added. The room was still. Officers took in the message. For some, like Emily Torres, it hit home. For others, like Ryan Walsh, it sparked pushback. Ryan leaned toward Ethan, whispering. "This is all touchy-feely nonsense," he said. Ethan frowned, torn. "Maybe we need a new approach, Ryan," he said. "Doing the same thing won't fix anything." Ryan scoffed, arms crossed. "Touchy-feely nonsense. It's just handcuffing us. Wait and see," he said. The meeting wrapped with a Q&A. Officers raised concerns. Marcus answered with patience and clarity. His resolve stayed strong despite resistance. After, Marcus approached Ethan. His face was hard to read. "Officer Hayes, got a second?" Marcus asked. Ethan nodded, following him to the hallway. The precinct's noise faded in a quiet corner. "Just checking in," Marcus said, leaning on the wall. "How's all this sitting with you?" Ethan paused, then spoke truthfully. "It's a lot, but I'm trying to get it," he said. "I know I've got to step up." Marcus nodded, encouraging. "Owning that is huge," he said. "Change is hard, but it's needed." "We're all in this together," Marcus added. Ethan valued Marcus's openness. His effort to involve everyone stood out. "Thanks, Captain. I want to help fix things," Ethan said. Marcus smiled, patting his shoulder. "I know you can. Let's keep going," he said. Ethan returned to his desk, feeling determined. The road was rough, but he was all in. The next week, Marcus's plans started rolling out. Officers attended bias and sensitivity workshops. They aimed to build empathy. Ethan began questioning his own views. He chipped away at old habits. Resistance lingered, though. Ryan and others griped often. They doubted Marcus's leadership. One day in the break room, a debate flared. Ryan's voice rose above the noise. "These policies are pointless," he said. "We're cops, not counselors." Emily, listening quietly, spoke up. "Ryan, we protect and serve," she said. "Everyone deserves fairness." Ryan rolled his eyes. "What about us? We're risking our necks out there," he said. Ethan chimed in, voice calm. "Sure, but we signed up to make a difference," he said. "Not just to bust heads." Silence fell. Tension hung heavy. Officers glanced around. The words carried weight. Marcus walked in, sensing the vibe. "What's this about?" he asked. Ryan faced him, irritated. "Just airing out these changes," he said. "Not everyone's sold." Marcus held his gaze, steady. "Change feels tough," he said. "But we owe our city better." Ryan muttered, storming off. The room stayed quiet. Officers mulled over the clash. Marcus looked at Ethan and Emily. "Thanks for speaking up," he said, gratitude clear. "We need everyone for this." Ethan nodded, feeling united. The path was hard, but he wasn't alone. They could reshape the department's culture together. As the day ended, Ethan thought over his progress. The journey was just starting. But hope grew. With Marcus and colleagues like Emily, he was ready to push for justice and equality. The precinct buzzed as officers started another shift. Tension from Marcus's arrival lingered, but curiosity and hope were rising. For Ethan Hayes, recent weeks had been eye-opening. He joined every workshop Marcus set up. Each one gave him new perspectives on policing. That morning, prepping for his shift, Ethan felt change taking hold. Small shifts in attitudes were showing. A new culture was budding in the department. But deep biases still needed work. On patrol with Ryan Walsh, silence filled the car. Ryan's resistance was obvious. Ethan felt their growing rift. "Still sold on this reform stuff?" Ryan asked, skeptical. Ethan glanced over, measured. "It's not just talk, Ryan. We've got to step up for the city," he said. Ryan smirked. "We're fine. Why mess with it?" he said. "Maybe it's been messed up, and we're just now seeing it," Ethan countered. "We can fix it." Ryan looked away, dismissive. "It'll pass," he said. Later, the department held a forum. Officers shared thoughts on reforms. Marcus led with confidence. "Thanks for being here," he said. "Let's talk about what works and what doesn't," he added. Officers spoke up. Some backed the new rules. Others weren't convinced. "These changes won't make us better cops," Ryan said, annoyed. "We're losing sight of the job." Marcus nodded, listening. "I hear you, Ryan," he said. "But our job's about trust with the community. These steps strengthen that." Ryan stayed stubborn, arms crossed. "What about us?" "We're out there every day," he said. Marcus responded calmly. "Your courage is real, and respect goes both ways," he said. "This makes things safer for us all." The room absorbed the words. Ethan admired Marcus's honest approach. The talk continued with other stories. Emily Torres shared a recent call. "Last week, I handled a domestic dispute," she said. "I listened, really got what was happening. It changed everything." The family appreciated her care. "They thanked me for being fair," she added. Ethan was moved. It showed empathy's power. It proved their reform efforts mattered. The meeting ended with renewed drive. Officers left with clearer goals. Ethan stayed, watching Marcus and Emily talk. "Hey, Ethan," Marcus called. "Got a minute?" Ethan walked over, curious. "Sure, Captain. What's up?" he asked. "Thanks for today," Marcus said, appreciative. "Your growth is showing, and it's helping." Ethan felt proud. "Thank you, Captain. It's tough, but I'm all in," he said. Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Change is never simple, but you're paving the way," he said. Leaving the precinct, Ethan felt fulfilled. The road was long, but he was proud of his steps. He wasn't the same officer anymore. He was a force for good change. The next day, Ethan patrolled solo. Ryan took a personal day. It gave Ethan time to think about their partnership. Not everyone was ready for reform, but Ethan held hope for change. That afternoon, he answered a call at a park. Teens were arguing loudly. Using Marcus's lessons, he stayed calm. He aimed to de-escalate and listen. "Hey, what's going on?" Ethan asked, approachable but firm. A black teen with braids stepped up. "Just a spat, officer. We're sorting it," he said. Ethan nodded, eyeing the group. "Let's cool off and talk it out. No need for trouble," he said. The teens relaxed. The mood eased. Ethan listened to their issues. He gave advice without judging. They found a solution, and Ethan felt rewarded. It showed his actions could matter. Back in the car, Ethan thought over the day. Change was more than rules. It was personal growth. It meant breaking old patterns. It meant questioning biases. It meant new thinking. With Marcus and Emily, Ethan knew they were right. Challenges lay ahead, but he was ready. He was dedicated to a department and city built on trust and respect. The precinct's mood slowly shifted. It moved from strain to cautious hope. Marcus's leadership started talks. Changes were taking hold. For Ethan, these weren't just policies. They were a journey to understanding. Ethan walked into the precinct one morning. He saw familiar faces and new ones eager to learn. The morning briefing was on. Marcus spoke with confidence and warmth. "Today, we're focusing on community outreach," he announced. "We have initiatives lined up. Think about how you can help." Ethan listened, ideas forming. Community events could build trust. They'd show Portland the department's commitment. After the briefing, Ethan approached Marcus. "Captain, I'd like to join the youth mentorship program," he said. "I think it's a way to reach kids." Marcus smiled, pleased. "That's the spirit we need," he said. "Your perspective will mean a lot to them." Ethan felt proud. The mentorship program aimed to guide at-risk youth. It offered role models and safe spaces. It started the next week at North Portland Community Center. Ethan was paired with teens, each with unique stories. One boy, Jaden Brooks, caught his eye. Jaden was quiet, often sitting apart, arms crossed. Ethan saw himself in Jaden, a kid facing a tough world. In their first meeting, Ethan shared his path to policing. He talked about his mistakes and lessons. He hoped to connect. "I know what it's like to feel lost," Ethan said, honest. "I'm here to listen and help you find your way." Jaden stayed quiet, watching Ethan closely. Ethan knew trust would take time. Over weeks, he met the group regularly. They had open talks and activities. Jaden slowly opened up. He shared his love for basketball. He talked about school struggles. He mentioned home challenges. One day, Jaden approached Ethan. A shy smile crossed his face. "Officer Hayes, can we talk?" he asked. "Of course, Jaden," Ethan said, sitting down. "What's up?" Jaden hesitated, then spoke. "Thanks for listening," he said. "It means a lot to have someone care." Ethan felt warmed by Jaden's words. It showed their work mattered. "I'm glad, Jaden," Ethan said. "You're a sharp kid with a big future. I've got your back." Their talk continued. Ethan learned from Jaden and the teens. They taught him empathy's value. They showed listening's power. They proved connection's strength. Back at the precinct, Ethan shared with Marcus and Emily. He was excited about the program's impact. "These kids have so much to offer," Ethan said. "We can really change lives." Marcus nodded, thoughtful. "And they're changing us," he said. "It's a two-way street." Emily agreed, proud. "You're doing great work, Ethan," she said. "This is what we need." As weeks passed, outreach grew. Officers joined neighborhood events. They held forums. They worked with local groups to meet community needs. Ethan grew more confident. Lessons from Marcus and the community shaped him into a better officer. Challenges remained. Some resistance lingered, but Ethan handled it with patience. He knew change took time. One evening, Ethan met Ryan in the parking lot. Their tension had eased, but work remained. "Hey, Ryan," Ethan called, walking over. "You heading home?" he asked. Ryan nodded, softer than before. "Yeah, just done." "How's the mentorship going?" he asked. Ethan smiled, sensing a shift. "It's great," he said. "The kids are amazing. They've taught me a ton." Ryan leaned on his car, thinking. "I've been mulling what you said," he said. "Maybe I was too quick to judge." Ethan appreciated Ryan's honesty. It took guts to admit that. "It's tough, Ryan, but we're all learning," Ethan said. "It's never too late." Ryan gave a small smile. "Maybe I'll check out the program," he said. "See what it's about." Ethan felt hopeful. Ryan's words showed change was possible. As they parted, Ethan knew the journey wasn't over, but he was ready for what came next. With Marcus's leadership and growing unity, they were building a brighter future. They weren't just cops. They were bridge builders. They aimed for a community of trust and respect. In that journey, Ethan found his purpose. He was committed to making a difference, one step at a time.